In our training, we're trained that any trash we take out,
So we've been collecting garbage like 10 minutes, and this is what we got so far.
So this is just from the one tiny area right there.
Wow, that's a lot.
got that from the woods. This is the food.
どういう心理なのかなってすごい不思議に思う。なんか一箇所にドバーッと釣られてることもあって、拾うの気がめいってしまって、あんまり手つけてないから、そのうちやらないといけない。
And then these ones camouflage so much, it's really hard to find them. These ones are much easier.
毎回こんだけゴミ出るんですか？
なんだろう。これが自分の
Do U.S. Marines behave like this in their own country, or do they just act like this because it's Okinawa?
Two of the former US soldiers who are taking part in the Okinawa campaign say the US is indifferent to the environmental problems it causes.
I was in Okinawa because we had a delegation there that we were supporting the local people in Hanoko against the new base that's being created there. And I was told that, I heard reports that there was trash all over the place, so I had to see with my own eyes because I was a Marine that was stationed out there, and I couldn't believe it because the Marines, when I was in, we would never do that. We were trained if you pack it in, you take it out. So that's why I went up there, and it just blew my mind. I couldn't believe what I saw, all the trash in such a pristine area. The claims that the U.S. military is the biggest polluter, I definitely agree with that. They're the single most polluter in the world, and that's not something that it's up for agreement or disagreement. This can be measured, ranging from the pollutants from the CO2 contributions that the U.S. military puts out into the atmosphere, the amount of fuel that they use. The U.S. doesn't look into the environmental issues or acknowledge them.
And I've seen a lot of issues around the bases in Okinawa, similarities in Iraq and Afghanistan, and even bases here on U.S. soil where it's just contaminating the land that it's using. They use open burn pits that is having huge effects on military personnel members, and just the outright consumption of fossil fuels across the Pentagon of all four branches. Having a training center in the middle of a rainforest should ultimately come down to the people who live in or near that rainforest. So say take the Yanbora forest in northern Okinawa, where the US Marines have been training for decades. The people there on the ground who live there and have to suffer from the consequences of that training, they don't want it there. The US doesn't really cooperate in any investigations of environmental issues because it's a direct threat to their national security goals. But the problem is environmental issues are a direct threat to our lives. The US gets away with a lot of environmental issues.